Yasharahla, Yahweh Bashim Yashar Bashim Kakadash, the bonus apostle Elsberg Millstone, peace, citation, hopeful elect, Shalom. And I may title this lesson, The Next Pandemic May Lead to Sinister Plans. So, as you can see right here from the newsnationnow.com, alright, and it says, World Health Leaders warn a pandemic 20 times worse than COVID. That's the title. And the bullet points, it says disease X refers to a hypothetical unknown pathogen. Such a virus could already be circulating in animals, but not yet in humans. Scientists say without preparation, next pandemic could be worse than COVID. So it says the virus is evolving through a continual game of cat and mouse between the virus and our immune system, and epidemiologists explain. And it says by Stephanie Whiteside, updated January 23, 2024, at 8:45 a.m. Central Standard Time. It says, News Nation, at the World Economic Forum, the World Health Organization issued a warning to world leaders saying the world could face a pandemic 20 times worse than COVID-19 in the future. Scientists call it disease X, a term that recognizes the next global pandemic could come as the result of an unknown pathogen rather than the spread of a currently recognized disease. Scientists with the WHO, which is the World Health Organization, held a session calling on world leaders to work together to develop strategies to prevent or manage a disease pandemic in the future. Ukrainian soldiers developing mouse fever. One of the issues raised was developing better communication strategies to reduce misinformation, conspiracy theories, even as some took to X, formerly known as Twitter, to call the session itself a conspiracy against freedom. So I just want y'all to just pretty much like put the article in the description link. Well, will I not remember to do that, but I just want y'all to like really like just read that part of the paragraph, in the article, because that was heavy right there. As you can see, they say they're trying to reduce misinformation and conspiracy theories. That's why they trying to also go as far as they want to develop better communication by doing that. So you already know what this devil's planning, through the spirit for us that's in this truth. And so it says, the next paragraph, scientists say the most likely culprit for disease X will be a respiratory virus, possibly one already circulating in animals that hasn't yet made the jump to humans. Without preparedness, the WHO warned a pandemic from disease X could cause much more damage than COVID, which has killed more than 7 million worldwide. The WHO has already begun some initiatives to protect against a future pandemic, including efforts to support technology sharing and boost disease surveillance between countries. So, and right there from, saying this outside of an article, right there, like boosting disease surveillance, and how they're including efforts to support technology sharing, between countries. So right there and then it's like they're trying to like find every way possible to go as far as just like advancing technology, and they just trying to make it seem like they're doing a good thing, and these stupid people are going to be willing to give up their rights to basically go as far as thinking that they're gonna tackle and take on a disease that these people are completely unaware about. And the thing is that like a lot of these stupid ass people, they really don't understand the natural cure for these illnesses is basically your diet. But these people are so stupid, they listen to everything that the government tells them to do, so they're gonna go as far as just doing it. They don't question things. They just stupid ass sheep. And now like it could be to the point where it's like how they're trying to go as far as like using your technology to eventually infiltrate like all the type of information that they're gathering from you from the data. And then they go as far as like every time you got to update your phone or some shit, and I hardly even take time to read the policies and shit and the terms and conditions before you update your phone. They pretty much make you have to update it, and it's mandatory, and you got to accept those policies. So it's like they could pretty much go as far as trying to gather as much data as possible. And then, you know, you gotta expect something with this devil, man, because like scriptures say that how we're not ignorant of his devices, so we know what he's trying to do with this shit. You know, how he trying to stage shit, you know, but we don't know how he's gonna do it for sure. But it's just that, like, you know, through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yashar, we know this devil, like, he's planning on something, because he already said, like, the next pandemic will get your attention, you know. And the first one already did get a lot of people's attention, to the point where they realized that, you know, there was no mirth left in this earth, you know what I mean? Like, because of the fact that everything was locked down, that they shut everything down, you know. So the thing is that, like, for this second pandemic to get everyone's attention, it's going to probably be, like, just obviously way worse than the first one. And I forgot who mentioned this, but it was one of those men on top that mentioned that how you never let a good pandemic go to waste or some shit. So they're going to milk everything out of this, you know. So let's continue on to the article. It says, while Disease X was the focus on the session, it's not the only illness that concerns epidemiologists. Other viruses that could potentially cause a pandemic include Ebola, Marburg, Crimean Congo, hemorrhagic fever, Lassa fever, SARS, MERS, Nipah virus, Rift Valley fever, Zika virus, and new evolutions of COVID-19. So yeah, so they really, you know, trying to plan on some shit right now, but obviously, you know, I'm trying to do this to ultimately go as far as, like, just, you know, keeping the people in fear, and then eventually gonna take away their rights, you know, in due time. I'm only gonna make this lesson short, so other than that, I'll bring out some scriptures the Lord will make this lesson edifying. So this is 2 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So yeah, and one of his devices, you know, basically a device is like a tactic, a strategy, you know, a way he plots, you know. And that's basically what Esau does, is that he uses, like, a lot of strategies for, you know, whatever event that he has, you know, staged. It's already pre-planned by, you know, Esau. He already, the elites, they, you know, set shit up, you know. And then the thing is that they're the ones that's funding this whole shit to go down anyway. And ultimately, the elites are being used by, you know, Satan, pretty much, which the Heavenly Father controls on the left-hand side, you know, to pretty much go as far as doing the Most High's will on the left-hand side. So we already know that whatever these elites are planning, whatever they're doing, is what the Heavenly Father wants them to do any damn way. Because, like, scriptures say that not one sparrow falls on the floor without the Heavenly Father's will. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's his will, that sparrow gonna fall. That's a bird. So, you know, how much more, you know, everything that goes on in this world. That's, you know, we're talking about, like, major things, like, you know, like big major, you know, events. You know, if it happens, whether it turns out to be a successful plan, whatever the case is, however it turns out to be as a, you know, event, it was already staged and set up by the Heavenly Father. Basically, he sanctioned it to happen that way. So another precept I want to bring out right here is that Isaiah chapter 32 verse 6. For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy and to utter error against the Lord, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. So you gotta question yourself and be like, so why the fuck? First of all, if we're talking about in the article, like a pandemic that's gonna be, you know, for like a virus is gonna be 20 times worse than than COVID, right? And you over here mentioning that how, you know, you're gonna warn of a pandemic that's gonna be, like, you know, way worse than the first one, because you claim about some unknown pathogen could be a cause for the shit. But why you have to mention in the article about, you know, the one of the issues like that was raised in the article, like you have to develop like better communication strategies to pretty much reduce misinformation, conspiracy theories. You know what I mean? So they're trying to say that they're trying to go as far as, trying to limit information that goes, across different, channels and social media. You know what I mean? Like people that show you a way on how to basically naturally, take care of themselves to boost their immune system. People that basically go as far as speaking against what these elites are planning through their pandemics. You know what I mean? Like trying to basically go as far as like exposing those jabs that you had to take, to prevent such and such, disease that's created by, Esau in his labs. Because more than likely, those vaccines are the ones that create the diseases. So, see, this devil knows what he's trying to do. And I shouldn't really say too much on it, because like the algorithm's gonna pretty much catch on a lot of shit, and I wouldn't be surprised if this gets taken down. So like one thing about people is that a lot of people don't really read, because even sometimes, like, I'm not gonna lie, reading there might be some truth in the article, and sometimes it's like you gotta question certain shit, like with this devil Esau, because there'd be certain shit that he will say, or even on the news, that he slips up on certain things, and even then it's like an article, there's certain things, certain pieces of information that just like the shit kind of like you gotta question and be like, well, why is he mentioning XYZ? If his plan is to do XYZ, you know what I mean? Because the article is supposed to be mentioned on how, they predict, okay, the pandemic gonna be 20 times worse than COVID, but at the same time, why is misinformation, so-called misinformation on social media, like why is that mentioned in the article? You know what I mean? So what he's trying to say is, with this new pandemic, he's gonna go as far as trying to tackle on a lot of information that goes out that speaks against the C19 agendas and the strategies that try to talk about what these elites are planning. You know what I mean? Like, let's say with certain movies that be brought out, because certain movies, they have like a thing where you call a revelation of the method, predictive programming, where I forgot what was the name of the movie, but it was some movie that already planned like the C19, and that's pretty much what had happened before it was a thing for March 22nd 2020. That's when the whole COVID thing happened. So yeah, other than that, let me bring out verse 7. Let's read the last precept. It says in Isaiah chapter 32, the instruments also of the troll are evil. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right. Right. That's another reason why he's trying to tackle on that misinformation, so-called misinformation and conspiracy theorists. Like, the thing is that it makes no sense that you mention an article about a warning about a pandemic, but at the same time you want to tackle on so-called misinformation and conspiracy theorists. And first off, the biggest misinformation is that you over here trying to get people to get all jabbed up and shit, and then at the same time is like you acting like the jab is gonna really go as far as getting the benefits for like boosting your immune system, when in fact it's doing completely the polar opposite of what you're pretty much claiming that it will do. Because y'all devils claim that when you take the jab, it's going to protect you against, whatever virus or so, but it's actually going to increase the chances of you getting the virus. You see what I mean? And what does Esau do instead? When he hears shit like this, he takes the whatever information that, where the truth is being exposed at, he going to try to clip the channel, clip the videos, or he going to try to go as far as like just doing whatever it takes to kind of spread the, so-called conspiracy theory or misinformation from being spread. And this devil will even go as far as trying to find a way to make it to where you have to get this shit before you get a job. You know what I mean? Like, you have to get all jabbed up. So, you already know the plans and plots of this devil, all the schemes. It's just we gotta see how more shit plays out. But with that, who made let's edify, let's give all glory, praise, honor to Adonai Yahweh Bashem Shamalak Yahshua Bashem Kakadash, the honor to the apostles of the elders, great millstone, peace, I teach the hopeful elect, Shalom.